That was very exciting, wasn't it? You can probably tell by my expression how excited I am. We have a bowline that I tied one-handed. I then threw it onto the hook. I don't know why I'm explaining that. You clearly just saw what happened. So that's irrelevant. I think we'll just get straight into the tutorial and I'll stop embarrassing myself by talking to a tripod by myself. Okay friends, we have the rope here and we're going to have maybe 2.5 foot of rope, and this is how we want to be holding it. We want it over the first finger and it can just fall between those three ones. My hands are dirty, apologies about that. So this is how we hold it, and the idea is to flick the rope around this side, so flicking it round. Sorry, hang on, let me get a better position. Flicking it round like that. Then we're going to reach down, hook that bit with the thumb, pull it through like that. So we basically created a slip knot. And then we're going to flick this rope up and catch it like that. And then you're just going to pull that through the bite you've created like that. And then at this stage you can throw this. You let go, grab this bit of the rope, throw it over, and the whole flicking method locks it into the bowline. So that was quite exciting, wasn't it? Why would you want to do this? That is a very good question. Some people have one hand. Okay, actually I was asked to do this by a one-handed orphanage. That's the reason, yeah. They asked me, they got in touch, and I thought, yep, this is what we'll do. So, one of my party tricks is to throw this onto a hook. The odd occasion I actually go to a party, I take the rope with me. You know, even if it's just a sort of casual party, I obviously turn up with a bit of rope. And this is the first trick I go for. Flick it round, pull it through. So that is the difficult bit. Once you've got that down, all you need to do, flick it up, do all this, throw it around. Every time it works. So I may have been rushing that bit. We'll just go over it again. That's the secret hand position. You want to flick it around, and at the same time dive down, pull this bit of rope through there like that, catch it, put it through again, throw it, and obviously that one didn't work because why would it? Okay, so I've just realised the video is not long enough. It needs to be 8 minutes or longer, so I can get another advert in there and make another 3p per view or whatever. So I thought I might just talk about backing the bowline up. I've already done that briefly, but we can maybe 3 different methods of reinforcing the bowline, which we can do, and maybe get a few extra minutes of video. Okay friends, we're going to be doing the 3 methods. So we'll start with the bowline tied normally like a Boy Scout, where we create a hole like that. The rope comes up, goes around the back of the tree and then back down, like in the film Jaws. That's how they do it. But the issue, obviously I've spoken about this before, but I'll just go into detail again. When you load it, it's good, but when you unload it, you can introduce a bit of slack and then the tail can potentially work itself out. So we want to reinforce it. I think the best way is to do a Yosemite finish, where you just take the tail of rope and you just copy that, bring it round, dive back down, and then the tail is going to come up through that opening. So we sort of copied the shape, and the tail is tucked in there, and there's no way it's going to work itself loose. So that's one method. Another method, which isn't as well known, is the Scots locked bowline, where you take the tail, you come up, and we're going to dive down this hole, underneath there, and then back up. So that's going to go down. See if we can get a close up, because that's quite erotic, isn't it? Down, and then back up, like that. And that is the Scots locked bowline. It's not as attractive. I prefer the Yosemite because it's kind of symmetrical. This is looking a bit deformed, but I think it works in a similar way. So thank you, Scott, whoever you are, who showed that. And then the third way we could do is just the classic stopper knot. And we got several different options here. The one that they taught me on the course all those years ago was just a figure 8, like that. So it looks a bit like that. This gets in the way. This is annoying. It's probably one of the least secure stopper knots, actually, because it doesn't take much, and then the whole thing's a bit loose. So there are some better stopper knots we can just briefly go over. Obviously, I'm just trying to get the video longer. So, just being honest, guys. Double overhand knot. I like to hold my hand like that, like a gangster. I then wrap it once, twice, wrapping that way, and then the tail is just going to go where my fingers were. And that's a far more secure stopper knot, like that. We could do, I mean, why not? Why not just keep going and do another knot, stopper knot, the stevedore stopper knot, which I think is done like that. Yes, almost did it wrong. Stevedore stopper knot. And then we also could do, I don't know if I've got enough rope, we could do a blimp knot, which is not as well known. See that? That's quite a bulky stopper knot, actually, isn't it? That's big. There is also a what is it called? The Ashley's one. Something like that or something. No, I've tied that wrong. Sorry, guys. Hang on, we've got to get this right. We can't piss about. Where you can just do this little girth hitch shape, put that through there, put the tail through there, and you have quite a nice shape, isn't it? And then again, that's quite bulky. So that's another option to reinforce the bowline. One of my favourite knots. I use it every day. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It can be undone easily by just bending that down. Beautiful.